Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on today's conversation, we got some feuds happening. We got a back and forth happening in the world of sports between two sports analysts, sportscasters, and then in addition to that, the long-awaited decision from one of, I think, the world's most recognized radio personalities. The question that everybody has been asking: is Howard Stern's show getting canceled? Is he leaving Sirius XM? Well, look, we have the scoop about that, and we'll share it on this program, and so much more. Just, so much more, like the Florida Surgeon General. He was recently on CNN, again going on this tour of explaining why he is aiming for the decision to end vaccine mandate requirements in schools. So we have so much stuff in store for you all on today's show. As always, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your show 1 hour of your time to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your friend, your host, Arrington Gavin, coming to you on this wonderful evening. For those who happen to be streaming us right now on YouTube, as always, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. We want to keep that momentum going. We want to keep those numbers growing, which I see on a regular. I kid you not, y'all. I kid you not. We average between 1 to 2 subscribers a day. We want to try and speed that up, which we're very grateful. We are very grateful, but we want to continue to increase those numbers. So please share with friends, share with family. If you encounter anybody that's looking for a great show to just tune into, something with great conversation, hey, the Arrington Gavin Show is the place for that. You can also we want to continue to build those viewership numbers as well. Our YouTube shorts are doing great. I think we average in the thousands right now, and it's look, I can't thank you all enough. So we want to keep that momentum going, and please, like I said, like, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm as well. You can also stream us on Goatverse TV. That's right, y'all. Goatverse TV. You can find Goatverse by downloading the app on the App Store or Google Play Store. You can also download it on Roku as well as Amazon TV. So multiple ways you can tune into Goatverse TV. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV on demand. Then you can also listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all major podcast platforms. In addition to that, you can also tune into the show through our radio affiliates. One of them in New Orleans. You're probably tuning into the program right now. Shout out to WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, only on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. And then you can also check us out in the Metro Atlanta area by way of WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show on WDJY at 11 p.m. Eastern Time weeknights on WDJY 99.1 FM. All right, my friends. Well, look, we love to do a quick fun fact before we get going with our headline story. So before we head to a commercial break, let's get it going with our fun fact of the day. So on today's fun fact, did you all know the Green Party, which is a third party political party, another option per se, outside of just the whole Democratic and Republican Party, the Green Party exists in over 90 countries, over 90 countries. The environmentalist Green Party has an international presence, showing how global environmental politics have become. I kid you not. Green Party has been in existence for a long time. It is quite popular. A regular Green Party candidate that I could think of off the top of the dome is Jill Stein. She has she has made a presidential run not once, but I believe twice. It made it, she gained a lot of news. She's a lot of votes and things of that nature, but never made it any, you know, made it close to being a threat. But she does bring up, valid points. The Green Party does. That's hence why so many folks love the Green Party, because their whole preference is the environment. The environment. Who doesn't root and support the environment more than the Green Party? So yeah, that was your fun fact of the day. Now we're gonna head to a quick commercial break, y'all. But look, do not go anywhere. We got a lot more show for you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So do not change that dial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blend sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new Goldverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing Goatverse TV.
Goatverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Welcome back. Look, let me go ahead and play you this soundbite. We're going to start off with some sports news. And I guess it's not really, I wouldn't even consider it sports news, but I will say it had the sports world talking, because it was like, whoa, this was pretty intense, which you rarely see. You rarely see intense back and forth on sports debate shows. I mean, well, let me take that back, because we during the Shannon and Skip era and Stephen A always goes back, but it's like it's friendly banter, because it's not to upset the opposing person, it's to make points, it's to make valid points in the world of sports. Hey, why this individual might be better than the person that you're advocating for, or vice versa, why this team is better, or why this team has a chance. We notice it, right? And so on the show Get Up, which is a popular program on ESPN, a roundtable of gentlemen, including 3 former NFL players, Orlovsky was Dan Orlovsky, former QB, in the former NFL QB. Teddy Bruschi, former Super Bowl winning linebacker, and also Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark is another former NFL Super Bowl champ, 13-year veteran. Honestly, he had really grown a great career in the world of sports journalism and just podcasting. He's also the co-host of the popular sports podcast, the Pivot podcast. And so these three individuals were talking with a ESPN sports analyst, Peter. See if I can pronounce this last name right. I think that's Schrager, who is a fan favorite. He used to be a host on the NFL show Good Morning. I believe it's called Good Morning Football, and now he has a larger role on ESPN. And so it's interesting seeing it. But just listen to this clip right here. Listen to the soundbite.
Are you feeling okay? You look at AJ Brown, which is this number one wide receiver who got one target all night, and then you got CeeDee Lamb. But that's the
when was the one target?
That's the target. But
though.
I'm saying
when was the one target?
I'm saying you could have it both ways.
54 seconds left in the game on 2nd and 11. It was the one target. He runs the out route.
You wake up this morning saying
AJ
Brown had a better day than CeeDee Lamb.
But you know what you wake up saying though? AJ Brown's team is 1-0.
Of course,
right? Like that's what
I get it.
But the thing is this though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh, stop! That CeeDee Lamb is.
Let me tell you why. I'm not looking at fantasy football,
Ryan. I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing, and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
Okay.
As a player, I can't speak for CeeDee Lamb. I'm speaking for.
This morning, are you feeling?
All right, so let me go ahead and come out of this for you all. So that right there stirred the pot a lot. It stirred the pot a lot. So as you heard, Clark has been criticized for his interaction with ESPN analyst Peter Schrager, who did not play professional football or sports professionally in general. Schrager, as I mentioned, hired with ESPN. He is a sports analyst. Recently with the discussion, Peter Schrager, I apologize, Peter, if I'm mispronouncing your last name, was defending CeeDee Lamb's performance in the loss when Dallas played the Philadelphia Eagles. And so, because it's football season now, y'all. I don't know about y'all. I'm pumped for some football, college football as well. Lamb had 3 big drops, including one late on a Dak Prescott deep pass. But he also caught 7 passes for more than 100 yards. Clark, meanwhile, criticized Schrager for having that opinion, saying it was predictable for a non-player. Now, Peter obviously was very offended by that. He was very offended, which, in my opinion, well, I'll share that. But he was very offended by that. And I quote, he said, "We shouldn't do this on." Well, this was Clark. "We shouldn't do this on TV." You heard it right here, but I'll repeat it again. "We shouldn't do this on TV." So I apologize if people think this is rude, but that's the non-player in you. Schrager responded by saying, "Don't belittle me like that. I can't come and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing and give an alternative perspective." Clark, who played for the Steelers and the Washington Redskins, which is currently the Washington Commanders, among other teams, issued an apology. He put on X, "Today I had," and this had happened in the past, but he made the apology that day of, "Today I had an interaction with my colleague, both on and off the air, that I regret. I have apologized to Peter and taken accountability with ESPN leadership. I value working with Peter and look forward to this season. My focus will remain on professionalism, teamwork, and being a better teammate moving forward." So the article has it here that Clark is on thin ice. Front office reported recently that Clark could be on thin ice at the network. He had public beefs with former NFL quarterback Robert Griffin III, and now he's beefing publicly with a co-worker. Now, for one, RG3 is no longer on the network. He's with FS1. So I don't know if they chose size during that period or just said, hey, look, RG3 is just not a right fit right now. We're going to have to, he's going to have to leave. So that was a past feud that occurred, but that was not work related, in my opinion. I think their feud had occurred amongst their individual podcasts. Like he's, RG3, or I think Ryan Clark responded to something he saw RG3 do on his podcast. So that was outside of ESPN, but he still represents ESPN. One, Schrager is a key hire who was professionally recruited by Burke Magnus, ESPN's president of content. So that's a big deal because Peter does have a large base and is very popular in the sports world because that was a big hire for ESPN. Two, the network brass hates ESPN on ESPN violence. Wow. Okay. Then three, Clark is a repeat offender, as I mentioned earlier. There are only so many times you can screw up and apologize before ESPN decides your talent is not worth the headache. Four, Clark's suggestion to Schrager as a non-player can't comment on gameplay runs counter to what ESPN does across the board with a range of talent that never played the game. Now, here's my and the good thing is ESPN is sticking with the two. I mean, it's not like they're gonna fire or suspend Ryan Clark over that. I'll be honest, I don't think this is a big deal, but the funny thing is there's folks across the sports field that thinks otherwise. Let me go ahead and find this. Let me find you this piece real quick. Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second as I pull up this soundbite. So this was a former colleague of Peter Schrager, who I believe was a co-host. Let's see here. Brandt, last name Kyle Brandt. Kyle Brandt is the gentleman's name. He was a co-host with Peter on Good Morning Football.
Kyle Brandt with another one of the AFC elite quarterbacks. Cam, it is great to see you, and it's great to see everybody around the country today working there, especially on set in Los Angeles. And a special shout out to the non-players today. We see you, we respect you on our set and on several others. Now to Kyle.
Can we just say, like, bro, like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm sorry. Am I by myself on this one, y'all? Like, why isn't that so? Somebody gets so freaking like, I don't want to say the word, but they're so hurt off of the response to say, okay, look, all Ryan Clark said, I hear you with your point, but you're getting it from a spectator and an analyst position, which is a very important thing because look, you have some top tier experts in the world of sports that probably did not even play that significant sport that they are analyzing. Let's be honest here. Not all great coaches were great players or even played in the NFL. Two, not all great players turned out to be successful coaches. And then three, those first two that I said didn't turn out to be great sportscasters or ESPN or sports analysts. I will let me tell you something. The pattern that you see that's very common is you play a professional sport, you retire, you become an analyst or a commentator in that field. Why is it a great avenue for them to follow in? Because they are an expert of the game, because they hold, as a player, they hold one key expert. You play the game for a certain amount of years. Now as a journalist can be, or analysts can be seen as critics because there can be a distance relationship between athlete and reporters, or athletes and analysts, or athletes and journalists. Why? Because they might think, okay, you're seeing one thing, but you're not seeing what's exactly in the live space. That being said, what Ryan Clark said, I don't think was a big deal. I think Peter overreacted because he was embarrassed. It kind of brought me to the same debate between the non-collegiate players and collegiate players on the whole NIL debate, because I come across, or I will have conversations with a lot of folks that are anti NILs that ain't play a damn sport in college. In college, they're critical because either they, was pretty decent in high school and they went to college as a student, and some of them feel a slight jealousy because they're like, okay, I had to pay my way through college, or I had to do this and do that, and you get this free education. You'll be surprised of folks that are so anti NILs and that think that collegiate players are technically not employees of the university. I have had the conversation with multiple individuals who, by that chance, happen to be non-collegiate athletes. And if they got a scholarship, they did not succeed or did not continue their collegiate career. So now we have it here. The pro football player who 13 years professional, has a ring, has a status, and became successful in as a ESPN analyst and commentator, now facing the guy that, well, was just the ESPN analyst. And my question for y'all is that good enough, or should Peter feel offended that he said that on national TV? Like, whoa, give me a break here. Don't belittle me like that. I don't think he was belittling you, sir. He was just giving he was giving his opinion, saying you're saying this, you're saying that, you're saying this, you're saying that. But that's the non-player in you. For us players that have played the game, we're giving you our end of the bargain. There's no need to be offended. I think for those who are offended, maybe that's a prime example of why professional sports couldn't be your lane because you're so sensitive, dude. Like, I don't get it, in my opinion, y'all. I think they're putting out this, making this out of proportion and a much bigger story than it really is. You have critics. I mentioned Kyle Brandt was a critic because obviously he said, and all you non-players out there, like, he was defending a friend. Okay, good loyal friend. Good for you. You got guys like David Portnoy, founder of Barstool Sports, who is now into the sports. He's always been in the sports industry, but you're seeing more of him publicly because he has this partnership with Fox Sports 1, has a morning program called Wake Up Barstool. He's doing the big noon kickoff now. Portnoy blasts Ryan Clark, and this is reported by New York Post, so take this article with a grain of salt. Barstool founder says here David Portnoy called out ESPN personality after Clark publicly shut down reporter in a debate. Is not shut down. Good Lord. Says here that Portnoy said Ryan Clark went after Peter Schrager from ESPN. They got into a debate about the game and Ryan Clark, who's one of the all-time jerks in the history of mankind. He said this. Now, this is not me. This is David Portnoy said, who's one of the all-time jerks in history of mankind. He is a race baiter. Okay. They're saying this on FS1, on a sports program. He's a race baiter. You can say that. I don't know if we can say this. He is the only time he's in the news is when he's picking fights and then apologizing. But he did not yell at Peter Schrager, basically saying, hey, shut up. You didn't play football. You can't talk. This is where false information. This is where, that whole fake news that the guy in Washington always speaks on, that's his own people is a part of it. Because David Portnoy is more right-leaning. Let's just be honest here. I've seen him multiple times on Fox News. I tune into Barstool. I tune into the program Wake Up Sport. And I would love to have that conversation with Dave to be like, okay, for one, your examples on him being a race baiter, what does, because again, that's your opinion. We're talking about him telling a gentleman that I hear your perspective, but I'm giving you my perspective as a professional. Like, Nor did he ever say shut up. Nor did he say, say you didn't play football, so you can't have this conversation. That's not what he said. See, folks are now putting false things into his mouth and now getting a different perspective because, that's the power of division, y'all. When you continue to rally up the base, he's rallying up his fan base. And I get it. Portnoy's trying to make, he's trying to build up the network. The network is suffering compared to, because they can come close to topping ESPN viewership numbers. FS1 is barely holding on. Okay. They're like the I don't know, the CNNs of sports network in regards to their viewership numbers holding strong. Yeah, Portnoy is just, Portnoy is exactly what you hear. He's a guy that all he does is rally up the base. Because in that case, MC Portnoy is taking heat to it because Portnoy is a businessman. Okay, he didn't play pro sports, so of course he's going to get offense. Again, now you have the non-pro athletes against the pro athletes. In your honest opinion, y'all, who do you think is in the wrong or in the right, or do you think everybody's just overreacting and need to just chill? Because I personally think they all need to chill. I truly believe they all need to chill. I'm gonna read one more quote from Portnoy. He said, "I never understood that. I get playing the game, but there's a lot of morons who played the game. There's a lot of bad GMs who played the game. There's a lot of bad coaches who played football, watching football." Basically, he's giving you my point. What I started off earlier. That just because you were a pro football player, Ryan Clark, doesn't make you a spectacular analyst. And I think that's why, y'all, and I'm kind of in agreement with Portnoy on this one, but maybe that's why he's receiving so much heat, so much criticism, Ryan Clark, that is, because ESPN was not built off of former pro athletes. When you think of top names in ESPN, the late great oh Lord, I'm about to blank on his name. Stuart Scott, the late great Stuart Scott. What's my guy? Was just Rich Eisen, Chris Berman. Oh gosh, the First Take. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. The list go Colin Cowherd. He was one of there were so many great figures in the world of sports that everybody respects their opinion and they believe and truly can say this is an expert in the world of sports. So was that a jab that Ryan Clark? I don't think so. I think that was his honest opinion. And that was not to offend Peter. But Peter took heat. Peter felt embarrassed. Peter wanted to cry in a corner. And his friends are defending him, saying, "Hey, shout out to all you non-players out there. There's always a place for you, and you got it." All right. Yo, I'm not going to spend too much. I'm spending too much time on this. My bad. Let me digress from this and move on to another story here. Let's see. What do I want to talk about now? Let me. I think I want to bring up this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me take that out because there was something. Okay. We're gonna leave the sports world and let's get into what we always like to talk about. Is a little bit of politics. Well, actually, no. We're gonna take we're gonna head to entertainment because I spoke about this earlier. So, Howard Stern, one of my idols in the world of radio. I will say I have a lot of folks I look up to in the industry of radio, talk radio, and Howard Stern is by far that guy. Now he's wild. If you can recall, the back in the day, Howard Stern during his highlight moments. He was very graphic, but it made him a household name because first of all, the power of talk radio is keyword talking, but also you're having a conversation with everybody. It's therapy of the mind. Stuff that's in your mind, you bring it out on the mic, you bring it out on air. So when I sound like I'm talking kind of crazy, y'all, it's because this is stuff that pops in my head that I have papers and here and there that I write down little notes, but sometimes I just go off the bat. I just go what's off my mind. And so when you look at folks like Howard Stern was very vulgar, very did not care, but everybody respected him in some form of way. Everybody wanted to get on his show. It made him millions. When I tell you, here's the thing. For the past, I don't know, years, because he's been on Sirius XM for decades, but he's had multiple 5-year contracts with Sirius XM, ranking at 100 million per year. So I know he's had more than 2 or 3 5-year contracts with Sirius XM, and each year was worth $100 million. So you already know what kind of money my man's making. So there was news that Howard Stern was possibly getting canceled. We started hearing rumors about that because, well, you had folks in the world of media that were somewhat critics of Donald Trump losing their jobs. Whether if it was, cancellation, whether if it was a lawsuit that was hit against the network that they worked for, you saw some form of like attack on media folks that were critics of Trump, corporate media folks that is, because a lot of folks from the corporate media side either it got let go or shows got canceled. They say, you know what, I see y'all number, I'm leaving, I'm going independent. Countless of folks. I mean, Stephen Colbert, Joy M. Reid, Don Lemon, I mean, so many folks have either left corporate media or has been let go. I mean, I'm trying to think of some more. Katie Fang. I don't know. There's a list of them. But anyway, going back to Howard Stern, folks were like saying, okay, is the show getting canceled? There haven't been any renewed information about, a contract renewal for him. So I'm bringing up this report because the news is out. He has inked up a new deal. He will be staying at Sirius XM. He's not going anywhere. He has his own channel. The man's making money. So after a contract signed, Howard Stern says he's still in talks with Sirius XM over a new deal. Now, the self-anointed king of all media isn't about to disappear from the airwaves. Radio personality behind Sirius XM's long-running Howard Stern show said recently he remains in talks with the entertainment company over a new contract after Prank left some listeners wondering whether he was leaving the platform. Now, quote, I'm going to read here from Stern himself, says SiriusXM and my team have been talking about how we go forward in the future. They've approached me. They're sat down with me like they normally do, and they're fantastic. I don't think I have a good Howard Stern impersonation. They're fantastic. Let's see here. Now, comments came after a stunt Stern pulled on his show in collaboration with Andy Cohen and fellow SiriusXM host and TV personality. Instead of the normal kickoff from Stern on Monday morning, listeners were greeted by Cohen telling them he was taking over the slot and rebranding it as Andy 100. This is, I know, not the voice you expected to hear, Cohen said. The host of the Andy Cohen Live went to say that this was not how things were meant to go. This was supposed to be a cleaner handoff. I'm kind of winging it today. 15 minutes later, Stern returned to the airwaves and thanked Cohen for his help pulling off the hoax, lest anyone think that was real. That was all masterminded by me, Howard Stern said. So I think that's awesome news, because really the public the public needed a win. And what I mean by that is those who they didn't want to see a guy who is as powerful as, again, the king of all media, Howard Stern, to be canceled. Like, I get it. Every all good things must come to an end. Like, you can't do it forever. Howard Stern is 71 years old, but he's still very much, I mean, that's the beautiful thing of radio, the beautiful thing of talk radio. You can do talk. Let me tell you something. Another idol, Larry King. Larry King did it until Larry King went on to be with the great man upstairs. Like, I mean, he did it for a long time. Another idol, Joe Madison, the Black Eagle. He's so again, there is, and these are guys I mentioned that were critics of Donald Trump. Especially, Joe Madison, Black Eagle. Come on now. But people were a bit anxious. They're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen with this? And then here's the thing. Sirius XM is untouchable. What I mean by that is that is satellite radio, podcasting, streaming. They have their thing. But when it comes to the corporate, legacy media brands, they're struggling. I will say they're struggling. But all, like I said, good news. Check this out. Check this out. Before I end this, and we're gonna head to a commercial breaks. Stern's contract with Sirius XM expires at the end of this year. The radio host has extended his contract with Sirius XM twice before, in 2010 and 2020, with a 5-year, $500 million deal. 5-year, $500 million a year. Oh, Father. That's what my grandmother always said. Oh, Father. When I tell you, can the brothers get 1 million? No, matter of fact, bump that, because 1 million was cute back in the day. My price on interest, so give me about a good 5. If you can let me hold 5 million, bro, you won't hear a word from me. I will still be doing my show. But Howard, I am a struggling artist trying to make it out here in these streets. Can you lend a brother $5 million? That's all. I'm looking at here. You done had 2 5-year, $500 million contracts back to back, back to back. Okay, Lord have mercy. Woo. Yeah, I gotta take a commercial break. I gotta take a swig of this H2O after that, y'all. Look, my friend. So again, congrats to Howard Stern, staying with Sirius XM, and he's not going anywhere, y'all. But I'm gonna tell you another awesome show that y'all should be tuning into, and that's the Arrington Gavin Show, baby. Weeknights available on all digital streaming platforms. Look, we're gonna head to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have some more stories here to discuss with you all, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Let's get it going with our next story of the day. All right, let's talk about this Surgeon General out in Florida, Joseph Ladopo. There we go. I think it's Ladopo. So I got to talk about this gentleman right here. So the Florida Surgeon General, he made some headlines recently by making Florida the first state to put an end to vaccine mandates in schools. It was normally a requirement for students before they head to schools to make sure they have their vaccines taken care of. He's saying no, he's putting an end to vaccine requirements to schools. He's calling it, in his words, slavery. Let's check this out. This is a soundbite of him on Jake Tapper's show on CNN. Just listen to this and we'll talk on the other side.
I'm looking at this report from your department from April showing that more people in Florida are seeking religious exemptions for vaccines. And at the same time, Florida is seeing rising cases of hepatitis A and whooping cough and chickenpox. This is in your own report, your own department's report. Before you made this decision to try to lift vaccine mandates for Florida, which include obviously public schools, did your department do any data analysis? Did you do any data projection of how many new cases of these diseases there will be in Florida once you remove vaccine mandates?
Absolutely. So absolutely not, because it's not you mentioned whooping cough there. So there's this conflation of the science and sort of what is the right and wrong thing to do. So scientifically, you mentioned whooping cough. So that's an example. This is part of the issue with informed consent. That's an example of a vaccine that is ineffective. The data show that it's ineffective at preventing transmission. So sort of mandates with that really don't have anything to do with the notion of transmission. And then in terms of, like analysis, well, ultimately, this is an issue very clearly of parents' rights. So do I need to analyze whether it's appropriate for parents to be able to decide what goes into their children's bodies? I don't need to do an analysis on that.
So you're trying to lift the vaccine mandate in Florida, and your department and you did not even do a projection as to how this could impact public health. So you have not prepared hospitals in the Florida counties most at risk with the best treatments for any outbreaks of measles, mumps, rubella, whooping cough, polio, and you have not looked into how many kids might now get these preventable diseases. That's what you're saying?
No, that's what you said. What I'm saying is that it's an issue of right and wrong in terms of whether parents should be able to have ultimate authority over what happens to their kids' bodies. And in terms of outbreaks, we do have outbreaks in Florida, just like every state, and we manage those. So there are no new special procedures that need to be made.
Right, but you're talking about doing something that no other state has done.
Them just as always.
But you're talking about doing something that no other state in the United States has done and removing the vaccine mandate for public schools. You're making a decision that no other Surgeon General in the United States has done. It goes against what's recommended by every top medical organization, including the AMA, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Boston Center on Emerging Infectious Diseases. It goes against what parents in Florida want.
Society.
I'm looking at this.
Y'all, this is a perfect example of when greed takes over. What I mean by that is, I was looking up just reading a little bit about this gentleman, Joseph Ladopo, before the show, just to kind of get some clarification on like his medical background. He has been the Surgeon General for Florida since 2021. He assumed office under the DeSantis administration. He was best known for opposing COVID-19 mitigation measures and promotion of COVID misinformation. Ladopu has promoted unproven treatments, opposed vaccine and mask mandates, questioned the safety of COVID-19 vaccines, and contradicted professional medical organization. Now, say what you want about COVID-19. We all have our own, things with that. I've shared with on this program many times. I go based on what medical professionals say. Okay, that's just me. Call me naive, but I'm going to listen to my physician. I'm going to listen to the medical professionals. At the end of the day, they have the experience. I don't have any expertise in medical field. I can't stand when folks put on their doctor's hat, and then I try to remember. I'll be like, I don't remember going to your graduation from medical school. I don't remember going to your graduation from pharmacy school. Like, everybody think they know everything, because it's like, well, my spirit is telling me, like, no, you gotta go. Stop trying to do other roles that you are not capable or educated in doing. All right, especially when it comes to your health. And Black people, I'm talking to y'all specifically because we tend to ignore signs of our health. We tend to ignore taking care of our temple. And not saying all, but in our culture, we consume the salt, the sugar, the this, the that, diabetes, cholesterol issues, hypertension. We got to do better, right? Now, the sad thing is with this gentleman here, this Florida Surgeon General, this is all political. This is all because he probably at the time had a passion for medicine, for science. Now he got a taste of that, that high praise and success by those elites in the state of Florida, and now he wants to make them happy. He wants to keep his position on being on TV and this and the other. Let me read you some more about this guy. So recently he compared all vaccine mandates to slavery. Bro, are you kidding me? I quote, it says, every last one is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. He followed with, if we want to move toward a perfect world and perfect world, a better world, we can't do it by enslaving people in terrible philosophies and taking away people's freedom. Now, here's my take. Let's bring COVID again. How many numbers did we witness? Dies, folks that had contracted the coronavirus. How many? It was large numbers, right? Now, was there a difference for those who had taken the vaccine? You did, right? You saw a prevention. You saw it going down. Folks, do I think that there are corruption in the pharmaceutical industry? Yes. Do I think there's corruption in medical fields? Yes. But that doesn't mean that that's for the majority. Yeah, you got bad apples out there, but you can't make the case off of one thing and say, okay, this is the whole entire thing. I can't imagine hearing a doctor say that all vaccine mandates are like slavery. Now, I think the key word that folks always are always reading is mandates, right? Mandates, mandatory. Sometimes mandatory can have a forcefulness to it, right? So folks should have the option if they want to take, if you want to take it, hey, you don't want to take it, but don't. I guess the question is, y'all, do you want your child to be mandated taking a certain vaccine, or just go with the flow, and then if he gets sick, he gets sick? Like, what's your take on this? Because I'm not a parent, so I really can't speak on that. I can just predict, if myself as a little kid, like schools are some of the most germ infested areas out there, right? From youth all the way to high school. You're in a closed up room. Little kids are playing, sharing this and that and the other. You're liable to get caught with something, right? Now, again, this guy is going based on vibes. He's not going based on any form of research. Any form of research. That's what blows my mind. All this stuff is just prediction. He's predicting this, saying, "Oh, this is the case right here. Where's your research to back it up? Oh, we don't need no research. What? We don't need no research. You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me." Now, so many folks in the world of in the medical industries have been against, whether they're conservative or liberal folks of medicine. They disagree with this. And see, it makes it even more sad because we got a Secretary of Health Human Services that he does research based on conspiracy theories and not by science. Okay, as much as he's going to tell you that he is for vaccine, hey, he might be, but he's made a name of himself as being anti. So he can say that he's, for a vaccine, but it's like, okay, well, what vaccines are those, sir? Because you always speaking against him. Now, I'll give Kennedy credit on the art getting rid of artificial food coloring in foods of our youth. That's important because we got artificial stuff around everywhere, whether snacks, candies, drinks, you name it. So I commend him for that. Now, I'm looking at let's see here. Under the solution, Florida's rates of general vaccine shots to protect against disease have already declined. Okay, so it says here, under Ledopo's leadership, Florida's rates of routine childhood vaccines, shots that protect against catastrophic diseases like polio and tetanus, have already declined. Currently, the immunization rate for kindergartners is 90%, the lowest it's been in a decade, and below the threshold required to prevent the spread of some serious illnesses. The rate of families seeking religious expectations to school vaccine requirements have increased over the past few years. Let me see there. It says here, Washington Post KFF poll conducted in July also found that more than 80% of Florida parents said public schools should require vaccines for measles and polio, with some health and religious expectations. Exceptions. A new NBC news poll, shows that nearly 80% of Americans strongly or somewhat support vaccines. Even President Trump seems skeptical of Ledopo's decision. Even President Trump? What? Like, come on. Say it ain't so. I quote, it says here, I think we have to be very careful. We have some vaccines that are so amazing. I think you have to be very careful when you say that some people don't have to be vaccinated. I mean, look, even Senator Bernie Sanders had to repost that. He's like, wait, what? Trump starting to, because here's the thing. Trump old, Trump sick. Okay. He's at that age where you better take every proper health precaution you can when you're pushing 80, when you're knocking on 80 door. Later in that interview that we didn't catch, Ledopo seemed to slightly revise his argument, claiming that officials did not do any projections ahead of killing off vaccine mandates because they already recognized the outbreaks would in fact be inevitable. I quote, says here, we don't need to do any projections. We handle outbreaks all the time, so there's nothing special that we would need to do. And secondly, again, there are countries that don't have vaccine mandates and the sky isn't falling over there. Since when did we start doing what other countries do? Because last time I checked, when Bernie Sanders brings up healthcare, they bring up oh Lord, what is it? Universal health care. When he brings up that argument saying, hey, look, folks in Canada, everybody want to shut him down. So now the fact that he's listening to what happens overseas, give me a break, dude. First of all, I'll be honest. I can't trust a doctor that has lips that like you can spark a match. Them drinks was ashy. I don't know, for those who are watching, I gave y'all a close look at it. Them drinks was ashy. Brother, carry some chapstick, man. Shame on you as a physician. Physicians don't need to be having no ashy lips. That joker had, because he was cornered. He was cornered against things that, I mean, he made a spectacle out of this, and now he has to own up to it. That joker, taking a swig and like, here gargling the water while he's doing this interview. The man nervous. The man's like, what did I just do? Come on, that's a sign of guilt. That's a sign of regret. That man need to dip his mouth in some Vaseline. Them drinks was ashy. I can't trust a doctor like that. Sorry, can't do it. Let me look at my time right here, y'all. Let me look at my time. Let's see. Do we have enough time? I think we might. I think I have a few short minutes. I want to put up this article real quick, or this image here. So recently it was shared that Sierra would be adding Wilson, her husband, her current husband, Russell Wilson, the NFL quarterback, Russell Wilson. She'll be adding Wilson to her first child's last name, the son that she has with rapper Future. Says here that Sierra's son with rapper Future is legally now a Wilson. TMZ learned that the singer added Russell Wilson's last name to the eldest son legal's name. Sierra and Russ hit the U.S. Open with the most recent U.S. Open with their kids. But when Russ posted a shot of Sierra and her family from the stands with the caption, Mrs. Sierra Wilson, Future Wilson, and Sienna Wilson, fans zeroed in on the fact that Future Zahir's last name was written as Wilson, sparked speculations Russell had adopted him. Now, sources with direct knowledge tells that Sierra has full custody of her 11-year-old, and Wilson was legally added to his name a few years back. He still has his dad's Future's last name, Wilburn, in his full legal name. Now, I think this is I think it's a wonderful thing. I don't think it's a disrespect at all to Future. That is still his son. He is still he is still the father of him. I kind of have the same predicament, and I'm gonna try and make this really quick for you all. But I was blessed with two fathers. I have my biological father, and I call my bonus dad, which by law folks say your stepdad. And legally my name is hyphenated. It's Jones Gavin. Jones is my biological father's last name, and Gavin is my current name, my mother's maiden name. Now I never took my stepfather's last name because for one, it's just an earful. but I'll share. Look, I'm looking at my time, y'all. But this is a bad idea at all. I think this is just saying. There we go. I don't know why my mic keep on muting. Well, I think that's them saying, "Hey, I gotta close it out." But y'all, look, I'm gonna continue this conversation on a little bit on the next program. But again, I think it's wonderful. I think it's blended families coming together. I think fortunate for his son. He has two amazing fathers that are always going to be there to support him, and an amazing mother as well. Y'all, peace and blessings. Take care. God bless. Continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, available on all digital streaming platforms as well as on the radio airways. Get out there, vote, and stay informed. Out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.